Hello again. This is Cleon Smith, realtor from Sampson Properties, residing here in Northern Virginia, Southern Maryland, and the District of Columbia. So that's the region we cover. And I wanted to talk to you today about two important things that often stand in the way of owning a home: credit, as in understanding your credit score and credit report, and also down payment, saving for down payment or getting down payment assistance. So let's start with credit. Um, a lot of programs out there to help monitor credit scores. I would say start with your credit report. You can get that for free. You can start with FICO, that's FICO.com. You can pay for some of the report, but from each credit bureau, you can get a free report once a year. And the credit bureaus are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Okay, each of those entities, you can get a free credit report from them. You can also, anytime you apply for credit from a bank, such as a credit card or get a car loan, you can request to see your credit report, as well as you'll know what your credit score is from a lender or from your credit card company. Keep in mind that the score used by a lender for a mortgage, the score that they use might be slightly different from the score used by a credit card company or for an auto loan. There are different versions of that score. I'll stop there on the different scoring models, but they're different. So make sure that when you are out looking for your financial product, you are informed, okay? Um, Credit can be repaired. All right. So the score range from a low of 300 to a high of 850. What's a good score? I would say what's a good credit score? The industry standard is, good credit. Again, depends on what product you're going after, but generally, we see, in mortgage, since that's where work, in houses and so forth, and refinances and all that, the score that you consider good by the industry, the mortgage industry, is, seven thirties. Again, in some years that's slightly higher, slightly lower. I'm sure, as you're aware, the economy is facing some headwinds and some challenges right now. So sometimes those industries will tighten scores or loosen the scores that they'll use for certain qualifications. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Let's talk about down payment assistance. So that's a second thing that sometimes stands in the way of folks uh, moving into a home or moving on to the next step in acquiring a property. Down payment assistance can be gained from federal programs, state programs, local programs. I would say do your research, as well as if you can get them from, if you're in certain industries, teachers, public safety, firefighters, nurses, even some local jurisdictions. For example, the city of Alexandria, where I live, um, has a program where if your income is below a certain threshold, and you plan to reside within the city, you may qualify for some of their home purchase programs. So again, do your research. Most counties have their own program. So if you're in Prince George's County, Suffolk County, whatever your county is, County X USA, county or state, make sure you are, researching to make sure you're not leaving any potential money on the table that could help you purchase a home. So the reason these programs exist, they exist for a reason. They exist for folks who, may not have that stellar credit but still want to get into a home. So if you use a program, the interest rate you get might be slightly higher if you compare to if you did not use a program. Don't let that stop you from moving forward with a home purchase if that is your goal and that's within your future. I would say the better your scores are and the better your credit history, the least likely you're going to need to rely on these programs. But again, these programs exist for a reason, so I don't want to say don't use them. They're there for a reason. So if you if you don't have the money to saved up to put towards down payment, and you do need to rely on these down payment assistance program, but you have decent credit, then go ahead and apply for these programs, because again, it's going to put you forward in getting that home. All right. And as well as I want to mention savings. So you're going to, even if you qualify for a zero down payment program. So that is, you can purchase a home and you don't need to put down zero, and you need to put down $0 down payment. You're still going to need to bring money to the closing table when you settle on the home. Why? Because there are going to be closing costs. For example, taxes, title fees, all of the all of the things that goes around into closing on the home. You're going to need to bring some funds to the table. Here in Northern Virginia, again, industry, what I see in the industry is 2 to 3% of closing costs, monies that will be needed. For example, if you're purchasing a home for say $300,000, around here that will get you a really nice condo. You may not be able to, get a single family home for that. Maybe, there's some other off-market deals that you can get that requires you to maybe put in some money into the home. But generally, for that price point, you're going to get a condo, and for that you're looking at maybe 6,000 to anywhere to maybe six to eight $1,000 just in all closing costs. So if you do qualify for a 0% down payment program, I would say have some percent of the price of the sales price saved, put aside to put towards the closing costs. Okay. And again, this is just a series of videos we're doing in educating homeowners to make sure they are able to take advantage of the home buying process. My colleague always say we need to help more folks own more doors and own dirt. And I always remind my clients that when you purchase a home, you're really taking funds from one pocket and you're depositing into another pocket that you're controlling both pockets. That is, for example, you're taking your paycheck or your savings, and you're putting them into an asset, into another pocket that can grow and over time. For example, this is a way to pass on generational wealth. So if you're planning to purchase a home, think of it as a really nice savings account. Now, the market for homes do change, they do go up and they do go down. In general, it's one of the assets that is the most expensive assets that we own as Americans, and it's something that we can pass on, and it's a great asset to build generational wealth. It's a foundation that you can build upon. So I would say if you're able to take advantage of using this vehicle, not only a home to live in, but something to be used as an investment to pass on potential to future generations. Make sure that you understand how credit works and how down payment works. Okay. If you have any questions, I'll always be able to answer them. And as I mentioned earlier videos, I will keep talking about this topic because it's so important, as well as post some links below on some additional resources that you should definitely be aware of as you go forward with your home purchase process. I know it's tempting to look at those homes online and want to go out and see them. You really need to know where you stand in terms of credit and in terms of saving for a down payment. Again, there are going to be programs out there to help, but you can't rely on just programs alone. You really need to take the first step. And I would say the first step is to know what is in your credit report. And once you know what is in there, then you can know what action you need to take, whether it is to increase the good credit line items that are in there, or ways to minimize the ones that are not so good. And if there are errors, I talk about in another video, if there are errors in that report, there are ways to fix the errors. There are companies, there are organizations that can work with you to help you, take out some of those negative things. For example, 10 years ago, you paid off that student loan. The servicer for that student loan changed in the middle of that process for you, but it's still showing that you have a balance that you never paid off, but you did. So you can work with the bureaus, again, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian on your own, or you can work with a company that can work with them. They will send the letters. They have a team of lawyers that are going to work on your behalf to help you clarify and correct that error in your credit report. And once you start with the credit report, once you know what's there and you're comfortable, is knowing what your credit score is. Again, credit scores can be repaired. There are organizations, I mentioned, out there that are helping clients, helping homeowners, future homeowners, take advantage of their resources and their knowledge to repair their credit. So credit and down payment. You need to save something towards purchases not only, even if it's a 0% down payment program, you're going to need to bring some monies to the table. We'll stop there for today. As always, let me know your questions, feedback, and resources will be posted below. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Take care. Bye-bye.